Good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Empowered Pause. I'm your host, Rachel Chinoa J. Today is Wednesday, June 5th. We are officially in another month, and time is just moving along as it should be. Welcome to June. It's officially going to be summer in a few weeks, and kind of excited about that because weather affects mood. So when it's sunny and nice out, I actually feel better about the day and feel more motivated about things that I can do for myself outside. So I'm looking forward to the summer. Again, it is June, and we are recognizing men's health and mental health month. And I would like to share an article that I came across that was published a little over a week ago, and I had some great tips on how to manage your mental health. Okay, so before I get started, I always want to let you know that the Empowered Pause is brought to you by Speak Initiative. And Speak Initiative is a nonprofit peer support mental health organization. And our mission is to reduce the stigma around suicide and mental health in the Black and Brown communities by allowing our partners to speak, be heard, and live fully. Speak actually stands for Suicide Prevention through Empowerment, Action, and Kindness. And that key word there is prevention. We do not want to get to the place of suicide. So we're standing in a gap with individuals to make sure that they have the resources that they need to be healthier. Okay. Um, I'm just going to jump right into this article because it's a really good article. It's a little lengthy, but it's not overwhelming. This article comes from the Cleveland Clinic, where they have a national survey that examines the current state of men's health in America, right? So it gives us some great information. And let me just pull it up so I can have it in front of me while I share with you. Give me 1 second. Technology is not always your friend when you need it to be. All right, here we go. So again, this article is entitled Men's Health, Men's Mental Health, and 11 Tips for Taking Care of Yourself. Of course, if anyone wants to read this article after the live, I will drop the link in the comments so you can have access to it directly. And I'm going to take out some of uh, the most poignant points of the article. Okay. So it starts off that says, we're not actually sure where the myth, real men don't cry, came from, but it's exactly that, a myth. And it's a dangerous one that's taken root in our society, leading men to believe that the only acceptable way to deal with emotions is to pretend as if they don't exist, right? In 2023, Cleveland's Clinic National mentioned it's 34% of men believe that they live a healthy lifestyle, but don't prioritize their mental health. A whopping 65% of men said they hesitate to seek professional help for mental health concerns like stress, anxiety, and depression. 65%. That's a lot of people, right? A lot of our men who are not going to get the help that may change the trajectory of their path, right? Um, Pretending our issues don't exist is unhealthy, says psychologist Adam Borland, who is on the staff of the Cleveland Clinic. Um, it takes real strength and courage to look in the mirror and say, I'm dealing with some issues and I want to figure them out. Ready to make mental a priority, Dr. Borland delves deeper into the outdated stigma that can keep men from seeking care and what you can do to put your mental health at the top of your to-do list, both on your own and with a therapist. Next section is why men struggle with mental health. Well, men have historically been discouraged from seeking mental health support and even from just acknowledging that they might benefit from it. Throughout the generations, we've been told that seeking help is a sign of weakness, Dr. Borland says. Men are told that they were supposed to deal with our issues and keep them internalized. We're told that talking about how you're feeling is more of a feminine trait. The result is that men's mental health concerns go untreated, leading to issues like chronic stress and undiagnosed anxiety and depression. In her 2020 study entitled Males and Mental Health Stigma, Benita Chapman, who's a PhD, writes, American men are subject to a culture where the standards of masculinity are literally killing them. Though rates of anxiety and depression are higher in women, men are 4 times more likely to die by suicide. 4 times more likely. So, ignoring your mental health can also lead to addictive behavior like alcohol use or substance use, chronic pain, digestive problems, headaches, heart disease, sleep disorders, stroke, weight gain, or weight loss, right? Dr. Borland says that there's hope for the future starting with the present. You can start right now at any point in your journey, at any point in your day. You can decide to begin again, begin something new. It's all up to you, right? So, thankfully, the stigma seems to be changing, he continues. I see it in my practice every day across all age groups, nationalities, and cultures. You name it, men are finally coming to therapy, which is something we definitely want to see more of, especially in our Black and Brown communities, our BIPOC communities. We would like to receive the same level of service and the same care that everyone is entitled to. So I am glad that the conversation is being opened up, but I do know there's still work to be done. So there are now 11 tips for men to take care of their mental health. I'm going to go through them. And again, if anyone would like the link to this article so you can read it yourself, I will put it in the comments after this live has aired. So the first tip is to validate your emotions. If you grew up hearing that boys don't cry or that feelings are just for girls, it can be really, really hard to feel entitled to the breath and depth experience. But you're a living, breathing, feeling person, and you have the emotions of one too. We are not robots, Dr. Borland points out. And heck, even Wally had feelings, which refers to an old Disney movie, Wally, where the robot actually wanted to be human. The idea of getting through the day on autopilot without ever attending to how you're feeling is an unhealthy one. It leads to burnout and unhappiness. Though it seems basic, you might find it helpful to spend some time learning more about emotions in a very general sense. From there, you can work on identifying your emotions and accepting them as valid. Why does that matter? Well, there's a study that found that people who perceive certain feelings like sadness or anger, excuse me, as negative tend to have higher rates of anxiety and depression versus people who see a range of emotions as healthy and appropriate, right? That's where it becomes really important for men to learn to express these types of thoughts rather than keeping them internalized, right? Number 2 is recognizing the symptoms. You may not always recognize when you're struggling, especially if you're in for your mental health. But these concerns don't always present as very straightforward feelings of sadness or stress. Excuse me. So we can look for other signs like changes in your sleep schedule or your quality of sleep, difficulty concentrating, feelings of restlessness, fluctuating energy levels, increased or decreased appetite, and don't discount major changes in mood. Men often present with more anger, irritability, and controlling behavior when they're feeling depressed or anxious. Dr. Borland clarifies. That can affect the family dynamic in a potentially traumatic way. Okay. So the third tip is to write about it. You don't have to have a Hemingway level skills to write about how you're feeling. Journaling is a private act just for you, with no judgment or grading, which means no need for perfect sentences. Your journal is your own. Writing can be healthy, therapeutic. It can be a healthy therapeutic outlet, especially for people who are just learning to tap into their emotional state. Dr. Borland suggests that sometimes putting it down on paper can be very freeing. Some of our histories, most famously talented men have sung the praises of journaling, including inventor Thomas Edison, physicist Albert Einstein, naturalist Charles Darwin, and President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Even filmmaker George Lucas and comedian Larry David say they're never without a notebook for keeping track of their thoughts. If you're not sure where to start, you can try keeping a gratitude journal. And the benefits of having a gratitude journal are twofold, where you can focus on the good things in your life and can help improve your outlook, and you get comfortable with the act of journaling. I know that keeping a gratitude journal can be very therapeutic and helpful because it lets you focus in or redirect your thoughts to a more positive space. So you can actually free up your mind from the negativity that may be in there that may be physically holding you hostage, right? Wow, I'm sweating. Hold on. So, number 4 is to identify your support system. No man is an island, as the poet John uh, Donne wrote. To figure out who your sources of emotional support are, ask yourself, who do you feel open to talking to? Who would be there for you? If you feel like you couldn't possibly broach the subject of mental health with your friends, we encourage you to reframe those thoughts. Dr. Borland states that he reminds men that when they share with other male friends, they're giving those friends a gift. They're opening up about they're opening lines of communication and saying there's something that we can talk about. Studies of male friendships show that men have smaller social circles and fewer perceived sources of emotional support than women do. Dr. Borland adds that sometimes all it takes is for one person to open up the door to these conversations. It's not going to change overnight, he acknowledges, but the more that men become comfortable opening up, the more they are able to recognize that doing so isn't a weakness, it's actually a strength. Number 5, I'm going to go through these. I don't want to keep you here too long, but I just know that these are really helpful tips, and especially for men, but for everyone really, because I've gone over a lot of these on different pauses, and a lot of the information is repetitive, but it helps to put it in perspective. So, because it's Men's Month, even though I'm talking specifically about our brothers, does not mean that can't be applicable to everyone, right? So that's why I wanted to give this gift to you at the beginning of Men's Month, right? So again, make time for your friendships. Let's stick with the theme of friendship for a moment. Are you carving out time for it? Fostering relationships is key to building a strong support system. Men often mention a poor lack of work-life balance. You prioritize work and get home after a long day to tend to family dynamics. And then before you know it, bed and start the day over again, right? But making time for friendships matter. Whether you find activities to do together, like working on a shared project or going for a run, or you're just hanging out in your backyard with your kids, playing, spending time with friends is a crucial element of your mental health and well being. This isn't a selfish use of your time, Dr. Borland reassures. It can take some planning given everyone's busy schedules and responsibilities, but it is important to make the most of the time you have with your friends, understanding that it may be limited. Studies show that people who have friends that they feel that they can confide in are more satisfied with their lives and less likely to experience depression and make sense. And it makes sense, right? The stronger your friendships, the more comfortable you can feel turning to your friends in time of need. Now, I've been on for about 17 minutes and I've only gotten through half of the list. And because I love this list so much, I am going to continue part two next Wednesday, the 12th, and I'll go over the remaining for um, 5 tips for men to take care of their whole self. So I thought I would be able to get through all of the list today, but reality happens and I got really excited because I do not want to just skim through this valuable information. So I'm going to say this is our pause for today. Look out next Wednesday for part two, where we'll go over the remaining tips. And also, I wanted to mention that our Speakers with Sneakers campaign is back. We have our summer session starting in a couple of weeks, and we will be tabling at a couple of events that will be showing in our newsletter, which is coming out this week as well. So that is, again, our pause for today. As always, I hope that some of these words have been empowering, encouraging, or helpful in some way. As I motivate you, I motivate myself at the same time. And I just want to say, if you or someone you know is struggling with mental health challenges and need assistance, please, again, know that you are not alone. We say this every week. I will continue to say it every week. You are not alone. At Speak Initiative, we are not therapists, we are peers who simply understand, and we're here to be a resource um, and, and to offer additional resources to those who may want or need them. Okay, so thank you for joining me today. I know we went over a little bit longer, but I will do part two next week on the 12th. Until next time, take care. Remember to follow us on all social media platforms. Please like the video on YouTube. Please subscribe to our channel and check out some of our earlier videos as well. Until next week, take care. Am I still here?